everyone, welcome to another video in my YouTube channel. In today's video we are going to study about Pascal's law. Let us first see what is Pascal's law. So Pascal's law states that the pressure or intensity of pressure at any point in a static fluid, please note this term, static fluid, is same in all the directions. So what do you mean by static fluid? Static means nothing but rest. So any fluids which is at rest is called a static fluid. To make this concept of static fluid more clear, let me give you an example. Suppose you take a container and you pour water inside the container. Now please note that the water which you have kept in the container is at rest and not in motion, because the water which you have kept inside the container is not moving. It is not in a state of motion. It is resting. So that means, suppose this is a container and you are keeping water inside it. Water is a fluid. All of you know this. So that means the water is at rest. It is not moving because it is bounded by all the layers of the container. If anybody forget the term static fluid, please remember this example, that water kept in a container is an example of static fluid. Now the last part of this statement tells that it is same in all directions. So what do you mean by this? So suppose inside this static fluid I am selecting any point P. Why? Because it is telling that the pressure or intensity of pressure at any point. So I am selecting any point P. So intensity of pressure at any point P is same in all directions. So what do you mean by all directions? So suppose this is Y direction, this is X direction, and this is Z direction. So the intensity of pressure at this point P is same in direction Y, direction X as well as in direction Z. That means, in short, I can say that Px equals to Py equals to Pz. Where Px is the intensity of pressure at X direction, Py is intensity of pressure in Y direction, and Pz is intensity of pressure in Z direction. So this means that when a certain pressure is exerted at any point on a fluid which is at rest, pressure is distributed or transmitted equally at each and every directions and each and every point in a fluid. Now we will see where this Pascal's law is actually applied in industry. First of all, this Pascal's law is used in hydraulic jack, second, hydraulic crane, third, hydraulic lift, and fourthly, hydraulic press. So henceforth, if anybody asks you that where this Pascal's law is applied, so you will be in a position to answer them that this Pascal's law or concepts of Pascal's law or principles of Pascal's law is applied in hydraulic jack, in hydraulic cranes, in hydraulic lifts as well as in hydraulic press. Now I am going to show you a wedge element which I have selected from a huge fluid mass which was at rest. So in this wedge element, now I am going to show you the directions. So Y direction on this side, X direction on this side, and Z direction on this side. Now after marking the directions, now I am going to show the dimensions of this wedge element on the X side, Y side, Z side, and this sloping side also. So first of all, on the X side it is dx, on the Y axis it is dy, on the Z one it is dz. I hope you are able to understand why this is dz, because you can see it is in the z direction. This is dx because it is in the x direction, and as this side is parallel to this y direction, so it is dy. Now as this is a sloping side, so the dimensions of this sloping side of the wedge element is going to be marked as ds. Now pressure intensity in the x direction and pressure intensity in the y direction will be marked as px and py. So px is the pressure intensity in x direction and py is the pressure intensity in y direction respectively. Now in this wedge element, I will be marking the forces which are acting on the left face of the wedge element. This is the left side, so this is the left face of the wedge element. This is the bottom face of the wedge element, and this is the sloping side of the wedge element. So first of all, I will show the force on left face of the wedge element. So this is the force on bottom side of the wedge element, and the force on sloping side of the wedge element will be this one. Now we all know that force equals to pressure into area. So accordingly, force in the x direction equals to pressure in the x direction multiplied by area in the x direction. Similarly, force in the y direction equals to pressure in the y direction multiplied by area in the y direction. So now we are going to apply this concept and write the forces on the left side, bottom side and sloping side. So force on the left side, that is acting on the x direction, so it is Fx equals to, so pressure is Px multiplied by, what is the area? So you can see the area on this face, this is the area, so it is in the shape of a rectangle. So what is the dimensions of this rectangle? It is dy and dz, dy and dz. So simply dy dz. Similarly, I will write the force from the bottom side, that is in the y direction. So you can see this is the y direction and it is running parallel to y direction. So Fy equals to, same concept, you can see this is a rectangle. So this is a rectangle. This side is dx, this is dz. So, and what is the pressure? Pressure is Py and area is dx multiplied by dz. So I hope this is easier to understand. Okay, so I hope you have understand why these forces are coming as this and this values respectively. So I think this is clear to all of you. Now we will proceed to this side, that is Fs. Same concept. So it is equals to pressure on this sloping side, Ps multiplied by area. Area is nothing but, again, just see. So this is ds, this is dz, this is dz, this is dz, this is ds. So ds multiplied by dz. This intensity of pressure, that is Ps, is normal to this sloping surface at an angle of alpha. So now, what is the weight of this fluid element? Weight of the fluid element is equals to the specific weight of the fluid element multiplied by the volume. So, weight of the fluid element specific weight, that is gamma, multiplied by volume. Now what is volume? Volume is equals to area into width. So now I will rewrite this as gamma into, so what will be the area of this triangular wedge shaped element? So area of this triangle, area of any triangle is equals to half base into height. If this is the height, this is the base, so area will be half base into height. So what is the base? Base is nothing but dx, height is nothing but dy. So I will write it as half, base is dx, height is dy, and what is the width? Width is nothing but dz. So it will be equals to gamma half dx dy dz. Weight of any fluid element, it acts downwards, so I will mark it. Weight acts downwards, so I will write the weight equals to half gamma dx dy dz. So now as this fluid element is in equilibrium, so the summation of forces in any direction will be equal to 0. Now we have to resolve these forces, all the forces I have written in this diagram, I have to resolve these forces in the x direction as well as in the y direction. So let's start resolving these forces. So our first condition of equilibrium, it tells that summation of all the forces in the x direction equals to 0. So now here in this wedge element which is shown here, I have to find out what are the forces in the x direction. So for this, I can clearly see that this force which was Fx, it is actually acting in the x direction. So this is a force which is acting in the x direction. I will resolve this force Fs in the x direction and the y direction. Arrow is on this side because the force is inclined to this sloping face. That's why the arrow will be downward in case of y direction and leftwards in case of x direction. So I will resolve it here separately so that everybody can understand it clearly. So this is Fs, which is equal to Ps ds dz, and this force Fs is inclined at angle alpha to the x direction. So you all must know this, that whenever any inclined force is acting at an angle alpha, so in the x direction it comes out to be this force multiplied by cos alpha. So it is Ps ds dz cos alpha, and here it will be sin alpha. So this is on the x direction and this is on the y direction. So it will be Ps ds dz sin alpha. So I will replace this here. So already the directions have been put here. So only thing I have to do is to write the resolution of these forces, these inclined forces. The y direction is already I have written this force which was on the x direction here, and now the remaining one is this one. So you can please note that the direction is leftward, and left direction sign convention is always negative. I hope it is clear to all of you. So minus sign y, because the arrowhead is on the left side and this is minus. So Ps ds dz cos alpha equal to 0. So I have put here equal to 0. So no need to keep the plus sign here, so simply I will erase it. For your convenience I am writing the sign conventions. So right side is plus, left side arrow is minus. So please remember it. Those students who don't know resolution of forces as well as the sign conventions, please go through your first semester engineering mechanics and please brush up the concepts because they are very much vital in this hydraulic subject. Now I will simply take this minus sign on the right hand side of the equation. So it will look like Px dy dz equals to, when minus sign goes on right hand side of the equation, it becomes plus. So now I am not writing the plus sign, for finding out cos alpha, again refer to this diagram. We all know that cos component equals to base upon hypotenuse. Now here in this diagram we can see that the base is nothing but this is the base and this is the hypotenuse. So base is nothing but dy and hypotenuse is nothing but again our ds. So cos component is equals to dy by ds. Okay, why dy by ds? Because it is equals to base upon hypotenuse. This is by your regular trigonometric formula. We can write that ds cos alpha equals to dy. So I will put ds cos alpha here. Px ds cos alpha dz equals to ps ds. Now you can see on left hand side and right hand side many terms are common, so just cancel the terms. Cos alpha gets cancelled, dz gets cancelled, and ds gets cancelled. So remaining is px and ps. So we can write that px equals to ps. Mark this as equation 1. So now we are going to resolve the forces in y direction also. Applying the second concept of equilibrium, that is summation of forces in y direction equals to 0. So sign conventions will be upward positive and downward negative. So first of all we will see the forces which are acting in the y direction. So first force which is acting in the y direction I can see is this weight of the fluid element, which is acting downwards, and downward force is negative. So I will write it negative. Upward force is also there, which is Fy, that is the force acting in the y direction. So upward means positive. Another force is there. This force is also acting in the downward direction, that means negative. So there are two forces which are acting downward and one force which is acting upward. So I will mark it here. So minus sign convention for this downward force, half gamma dx dy dz. Another negative force is also there. So minus ps ds dz sine alpha, and one plus force is there which is acting upwards. So it is plus py dx dz equals to 0. In this equation, this term, that is the weight of the element, so minus half gamma dx dy dz is infinitesimally small and this term can be neglected. So this term will be neglected. So I will not take into account this part of the equation. So remaining are minus ps ds dz sine alpha plus py dx dz. So I will rewrite this equation as ps ds dz sine alpha equals to py dx dz. I hope you have understood why I have ignored this minus sign, because I have put it in the right side of the equation, so it has automatically become positive. Now please note that sine alpha term is here. So sine alpha equals to perpendicular, sine equals to perpendicular by hypotenuse. So perpendicular here is, so perpendicular is dx and the hypotenuse is ds. So dx by ds. So sine alpha is nothing but dx by ds. That means we can write dx equals to ds sine alpha. I hope this is clear. Sine alpha equals to dx by ds. Simply then dx will be equal to ds sine alpha. So replacing the value of dx here what I will get, it will be PS ds dz sine alpha as it is equal to py. So ds sine alpha will be replaced in place of this term dx, and as it is dz will be there. Now there are some common terms which you can see in this equation. ds will get cancelled, dz will get cancelled, sine alpha will get cancelled. What is remaining? ps, py. So we can write it as ps equals to py. Mark it as equation number 2. Now equate equation 1 and equation 2. So here you can see equation 1 is there, here equation 2 is there. So equating equation number 1 and 2, we get, now here you can see that ps term is common in both the equations. So we will simply write it as px equals to ps equals to py. ps is nothing but pz because it is acting in the z direction, you can see. So I can also write this as px equals to pz equals to py. So I have successfully proved that pressure or intensity of pressure at any point in a fluid element is same in all directions, that is in the x direction, in the y direction, as well as in the z direction. Please don't forget to share this video with your friends, and if you are new to my YouTube channel, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel Shayoni Chatterjee Day, and don't forget to press the bell icon for instant updates. Meet you all in a new civil engineering video in my YouTube channel very soon. Till then, goodbye to all of you.